In order to upgrade the factory radio, you'll have to remove this dash bezel. This is all one piece and it needs to come off by unclipping. You'll want to insert your plastic panel tool along the driver's side and pull out, and then along the top on the driver's side and pull out. Work your way across the top over to the side, and the dash bezel will come out. You'll need to unplug some connectors in the back, one for each cigarette lighter. And two for the AC climate control unit. Once you have those disconnected, you will then need to remove a few parts from this piece, which I'll show you how to do in a second. You will need to remove a few parts from the old dash bezel: the AC climate control and the 3 cubby holes. The AC climate control has 4 screws holding it in. Each smaller cubby hole has 3. The big cubby hole along the bottom has 4 screws. This is the new dash bezel. You'll need to reinstall the AC climate control unit along with the 3 cubby holes. I've already done so. Once you have this installed, you can set this aside and begin removing the old radio. To remove the factory radio, you'll want to remove the 4 screws, one on each corner. Once you have all 4 screws out of the radio, you will want to remove the radio by pulling out. You'll want to tilt the radio down and remove the 3 connections from the back of the radio. There's an AM/FM antenna plug. You'll pull the black shroud out and it pops right off. There's 2 molded connectors. You want to push down on the tab and pull each one of these out. Once you have the radio disconnected, you can set this aside. You want to locate the vehicle-specific T-harness. This is for a Dodge Ram 1500. And the main Parrot T-harness. This molded connector plugs into the Parrot, and I'll show you how to hook these up in a second. The vehicle-specific T-harness you will want to plug in to the vehicle. These 2 connectors, there's a pair of green wires, white, gray, and purple wires. On the Parrot T-harness, you will locate the corresponding connector that says 2 speakers. You will insert this into the molded connector. This will send the feed out of the Parrot into your factory speakers. You'll also want to locate the pin with the 3 fuses. This connector is going to go above this. This supplies power, ground. You'll want to locate the fused orange wire and install a T-tap before the fuse. You can cut this wire here if you want, but I prefer just to install a T-tap connector. You want to make sure the wire falls into the metal groove. Close the T-tap connector and hold that closed with your hands. You'll then need to get a pair of pliers and crimp that till it clicks. You will want to make a jumper wire with 2 insulated male terminals. You want to plug one of these male insulated terminals into the orange wire that we just put a T-tap on. You'll then want to go to the power outlet cigarette lighter on the driver's side of the vehicle. There'll be an orange wire with a yellow stripe. You want to attach a T-tap connector to that wire. That is your accessory wire. When your vehicle's on, this is on. When your vehicle shuts off, this shuts off. Once again, you'll hold the T-tap connector and apply pressure with a pair of pliers until you hear it click. Once that's done, you can insert the other end of your male insulated terminal harness into that T-tap. Finish hooking up your Parrot T-harness. The other 2 ends will go into the factory radio plug. The speaker ends and the power ground and remote turn-on end. You will now want to route the Parrot Bluetooth module harness down through one of these holes. Once this is done, you want to tuck this portion away behind the radio. Once you have all these wires tucked away, you can locate the iPod auxiliary USB charging cord. You can run this in your center console or your glove box. In this case, I'll be running it into the glove box. Once you have the auxiliary cable ran from the glove box, you want to begin running your Bluetooth microphone. You want to attach the Bluetooth microphone to the windshield glass above the rearview mirror. You'll want to route this cable along the top of the headliner, down the A-pillar, and then back by where the Parrot is going to rest. You want to put your Parrot Bluetooth microphone right above the rearview mirror in the center of the vehicle. You will now want to tuck the cable away along the headliner. Now you want to pull back the weather stripping and continue running the microphone cable. Once you've ran the Bluetooth microphone cable along the headliner, down the A-pillar, through the glove box, and out behind the dash bezel, it's time to hook up the Parrot Bluetooth module. You want to insert the microphone jack and spin it to lock it. You want to plug in your auxiliary cable. If you have an LCD screen or a tiny LCD screen, you want to plug these two in now. This Parrot module does not. Then you want to plug in your big molded connector. Once you have that plugged in, you want to furthermore tuck away the cables. And in this particular vehicle, the Parrot Bluetooth module can sit right here on top of the accessory tray. You will now want to install your factory radio back into the dash. In order to do so, hook up the AM/FM antenna, the GPS antenna, and the two molded connectors. Once you've inserted the radio, you'll need to replace the 4 screws. Now you'll have to reattach all the electrical connections to the bezel. There's 2 electrical connections for the AC climate control and 1 for each cigarette lighter. The Parrot Bluetooth module will sit on top of the accessory tray at a slanted angle. Once you have all the connections made, you can go ahead and reattach the dash bezel. You will now need to mount the Parrot Bluetooth wireless control module. You can mount this on a steering wheel strap or with a double-sided adhesion tape pad to the dash somewhere. I'm going to use the double-sided adhesion tape pad and mount this on the dash right by the steering column. Once you have the Parrot Bluetooth module installed, you want to make sure that everything's functioning correctly. Insert the key and turn the vehicle to the ignition position. You want to give the Parrot Bluetooth module on the radio a second to power up. Now you can begin using your Parrot Bluetooth.
iPod. Bluetooth audio.